All right, so today we're going to be talking about why you should stop worrying about drawing fast. And I'm not talking about gesture drawings or warm-ups or just making silly throwaway cursed meme art for your friends. I'm talking about the drawings that are the important ones, you know, the finished pieces, the ambitious ones that you're trying to make into something cool. From my own personal experience, I found that whenever I'm working on a drawing and I'm trying to get it done quickly, it creates a lot of pressure. And that pressure is a thing that you don't want. That's kind of like an annoying person looming over your shoulder asking you 1,000 questions when you're working on a drawing. You're more focused on getting them out of the way than you are on the actual drawing that you're working on. You know, that self-imposed pressure that you put on yourself is something that is not going to help you. I find that the faster you can get rid of it, the better. I'm gonna kind of relay in my own personal experience on this one, but when I was younger and I was just barely starting out with art, I thought the drawing fast was a good thing. Like, oh, hey, I'm so good at art. I can make this drawing super duper fast. Look at how super duper fast I am at this art. I'm the best. Isn't this cool? But I found that, yes, even though I could make a piece a day or maybe up to 3 pieces in a single day, each drawing only taking me anywhere from like an hour to 3 hours, that wasn't necessarily a good thing. I made a lot of good art, but there wasn't any real great art. And I found that I relied a lot more on patterns and memorization rather than actually taking the time to learn something new. If I had slowed down a little bit, really seen something and realized that I don't understand it and take the time to figure it out, I would have gotten a lot better a lot faster. And that's why I feel like personally my art from year to year, it was still improving a little bit, but maybe not as much as it would have if I would have actually taken the time to learn rather than trying to brute force it. And I know that there are a lot of people who are actually super fast at drawing, but I guarantee you that they have probably done this hundreds, if not thousands of times. They know their workflow. They have a lot of shortcuts, and those are things that personally work for them. So of course they're going to be faster and better at this than you because they've had way more practice. I wouldn't worry about getting on their level because the way I see it is that's kind of like running a 10-mile marathon when you have zero athletic practice. You know, you can try to run it, but you're probably going to crash, burn, and have a really bad time. Instead, I would rather worry about building up to it slowly, you know, 1 mile, then 2 miles, then get up to that 10 miles. And then once you're actually able to run that 10 miles in its entirety, then worry about how fast you're going. At first, don't feel bad that it takes forever. Worry about running it. And then after that, you can worry about the time. What that has to do with art is if there's some huge insurmountable object that you can't get past, if you take the time to be able to do it by taking your time and you get good at that, then you could maybe worry about how long it takes. With that being said, once you're done with the drawing, it is in your best interest to actually take a break. I know that might sound kind of counterintuitive, but if you actually take the time and do something else that will make you more well-rounded as a person, you'll gather new inspiration. It'll give you new ideas. So if you barely finish a piece and you haven't started your next piece, if you take the time to play a really good video game, watch a really good movie, have a really fun life experience or whatever, you will take that with you and be able to incorporate it into the next piece of art you work on. So from this piece to the next piece, you have something new you didn't have before that will increase your capacity to make art. So it's actually in your best interest to take time to be a normal human being. Another thing that'll help you out and not go fast is take the time to properly form your ideas. The better idea that you have, the better the execution is going to be. A lot of people will do thumbnails for their art, whether you do 1 or 100, it's entirely up to you. That's just personal preference. But if you take the time to come up with a good idea and then take time to either find or make good references, it'll give you a really good base for you to work with. Even if you don't need or rely on your references, you'll still have them to fill in the blanks if you have any issues with your art. So I have 2 pieces here side by side. Both of them took about 20 hours to make. The difference between the first one and the second one is that I had a really clear idea for the second one and I had no sense of direction for the first one. I think I redid this first one like, I think at least 20 times. That's without exaggeration. I did several different sketches. I changed the faces up. I kept doing this piece over and over and over again, and it got extremely frustrating. With the second one, I actually took the time to take a bunch of pictures, photo bash them all together, and make a reference that didn't technically exist, but that gave me a really good layout for the actual outline of this drawing. It helped me make sure that the perspective was correct, that all the characters were where they were supposed to be. I had a really good roadmap, and it only took me about an hour to get all of those references set up. So me taking that hour at the beginning saved me a bunch of time just because I was able to draw 4 characters in the same amount of time that it took me to draw the one when I had no sense of direction. So taking the time to actually come up with good ideas and really think about it will help you out a lot in the long run. The internet is already saturated with a lot of art. If you actually take the time to make something good, then it will have a better chance of standing out, because people can tell when you put a lot of love and care into what you're actually working on, regardless of the subject matter. And that will stand out a lot more than just that 20 different variations of a single NFT monkey facing a certain direction. And a good thing with that is when you actually plan out your projects, you can plan out bigger projects. So when I was 18, I had actually finished an 80-page manga before I had even graduated from high school, just because I was very methodical about it. I wrote out a script, I storyboarded everything I was supposed to do, and I was very aware of how long it would take for me to finish a single manga page by taking my time and not running the risk of burning out or getting tired. I found that I could finish about 2 pages in a week, which probably isn't very fast, but it was very consistent. That was a very big project that I feel like I tackled very early on. And even now, I actually just finished another book. This one's an art book, just because I actually took the time to carefully organize all the PSD files that I had for drawings that I had made for the last 2 years. So the layout for that was insane, and I needed to modify a bunch of things, but I still had good organization because I had taken the time to actually set that up. So, you know, that was a book I was able to make just because I was trying to be smart about what I was doing. And the other project was something I was able to make just because I had taken time to make it. I wasn't in a rush to make a manga, run at the wall, crash and burn, and, you know, never make anything again and burn out terribly. Hopefully, if you got anything as a takeaway from this video, is to take your time. You know, your art will be better, you will improve faster, and you will enjoy it a lot more. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I'll see you guys later. Bye!